How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you today about a new stock that ARK Invest just bought for the first time. I'll probably put this up Monday night, but they just bought it on Monday. It's a really interesting company, and I had never heard of it before they bought it. It's a company that's kind of like the Uber of air flight. So I'll explain what they do, some of their projections. They're already putting up tens of millions of dollars in revenue for 2019, for 2020. It's definitely an interesting one that already has some good numbers behind it, and it's still pretty early on. It is a SPAC, but we'll get into all that in a moment. And just right off the bat, I want to say I was about to go to bed actually, and I heard about this, and I want to cover it because I think a lot of people will find it valuable. A lot of people will find this information valuable to get in early on. Now, I do want to say this company moved up a good amount after market, but if you're looking long term, I still think it might be a good opportunity to buy in. I do want to hit on the fact too that we actually bought another stock that moved up a lot after market, and I actually covered it in a video, the video before this. I bought it in at $2.20. Now it's gone up exactly 20%, just over the last 5 hours since we bought it. But if you guys want to get in on that a little bit faster, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. I told all of them right when I bought it. Also, there's a link down there to Webull if you want to get in and be able to trade after market hours or pre-market hours. If you're in the US, you can get up to $3,700 too if you deposit $100. So definitely check that out. And if neither of those apply to you, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button and the subscribe button, I appreciate that too. So let's take a look at the company. It is EXPC, and it moved up 15.95% after hours, 15% after they announced, after ARK announced that they were buying it, and now it's sitting around $14.90. Now, I would not be surprised if it kept moving up tomorrow. This is a SPAC, and just so you can see how much they bought in about $651,000 worth. So this is not a big purchase for them by any means, but it's a little bit of a dipping their toe in the water. I'm sure that this is probably their smallest company in this ETF that they have, ARKQ, but the company is merging with Blade. So Blade is urban air mobility company. Now, I'll go over their investor presentation here in just a second, but I want to just give you a little bit of a background on the company in general because it is really interesting. It's a global urban air mobility platform utilizing a technology-powered asset-light model with unrivaled brand recognition. They have a pro forma equity value of $825 million upon consummation of the SPAC merger. So this is not a very expensive company right now. It is just valued around $825 million, but that's also before it surged up a little bit. So it's more like $1.2 billion, $1.3 billion, but this is going to give them $400 million in gross proceeds. Comprised of Experience Investment Corp's cash held in trust and upsized and oversubscribed $125 million fully committed PIPE at $10 a share. So the capital will be used or will be raised. The capital raised will enable the company to expand new urban air mobility routes, its network of captive passenger infrastructure, as well as its consumer to cockpit technology stack. So again, this already has some pretty good numbers. I'll cover it here. They already are partnered with a lot of different brands. So you can see kind of some of the brands that they're partnered with: Disney Plus, Sony Pictures. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this means that they're partnered with them, or even Maserati, Mercedes-Benz. I'm assuming that they work with some of their employees. They have a lot of articles and a lot of big news websites and magazines. You can see here all the different stuff that is covering them. Now, they have a lot of brand recognition now, or they're getting more. I had not heard of them, but you can see their passenger growth has been expanding a lot. From 2014, where they had just 1,200 passengers, to 2019, where they had over 37,000. They also were able to increase revenues pretty significantly every single year. You can see here it's about a 40% increase. Now, this last year, they actually had a decrease. They're saying this is due to the pandemic, but they had positive gross margins in every year. Now, they are kind of like an Uber. They're like an Uber of the sky. So they work with different companies or different individuals, and they go out. They have a pretty rigorous screening, from what I can tell, and then they actually have to audit them too. It's not as simple as like Uber or Lyft or anything like that. But let's say you need to get somewhere, you need to get there in a certain amount of time, everything is busy, you can call one of these helicopters to take you there. Now, I'm just doing a short little coverage on the stock today, but if you guys want more information, let me know. I might cover it a little bit more in depth in the future, but I want to get this out to you again. I don't want to take too long going through all of it, but their revenues were up 61% year over year prior to the pandemic shutdowns. So they had 25 million this year. They're expecting over double that next year, a good amount of increase every year after. So you can see by 2026, they're hoping or expecting to have about $875 million in revenue. Now, they're expecting EBITDA of about $326 million by 2026. So if they're able to do this, if they're able to project, or if they're able to hit the numbers that they're expecting years down the line, I think that they'll be a good investment over the coming years. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. Definitely do your own research on this, but you can kind of see what their idea is, that there's about a $250 billion valuation, value creation from these different companies here, Uber, Lyft, Grab, Turo, DoorDash, all these. And they're saying that there's really not much for air mobility, and they're expecting a lot more. Now, of course, the cost is going to be a lot higher, so there will be less potential customers, but the profit will probably be higher too, or just the total amount of revenue per transaction will be a lot higher. This is also a SPAC, so that's something to take into account too, that there is a limited downside pre-merger of just about 33% from where it is now, because if you don't like the SPAC, you can call and get your shares redeemed for $10. So definitely do your research on that too. Again, not a financial advisor, but I think it provides a limited downside in that way. Now, ARK Invest typically will continue to invest after their initial investment, so I would not be surprised if they kept on throwing $650,000 in every single day, or even up this if there's some good positive news. Now, I'm still cautious on this one, just because it is something that they're just throwing a small amount into. I still have to do more research on it myself, but again, it's one of those ones where it catches your eye right away, and you think, okay, that could be really good long term. I mean, a lot of people are bullish on a lot of these other companies that are similar in the ride sharing space. So to be able to be one of the first movers in that next space, in the airspace, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's why ARK Invest is willing to buy it. But again, with how much they put in, if it went down to zero, it really wouldn't affect the fund. So I would definitely research this one. I'm going to do more research myself. I have been buying a lot of stocks today. Like I said, I think I've bought 5 different assets today, 3 stocks and then 2 alternative assets. So if you guys want to know exactly what I'm buying or selling in real time, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. Like I said, we were up 20% at the time of market closing, and it kept on going up towards the end of the market. We were up 20% just in a few hours on this stock. So if you had invested a couple $100, you would have made enough to cover your Patreon for a long time. So definitely consider that if you're looking at joining that in the future. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to take a look at this one, it's under EXPC, or the company's name is Blade. Definitely check it out. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you for checking out Webull, Patreon. If you guys want to check out BlockFi, there's a link down there too. Spoiler alert, I bought a decent amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum when it dropped today, and now it's up 10 to 15% on both of those, and I used BlockFi for that. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.